Hi everyone, hi, my name's Gill Fountain and I hope everyone's having a really good week. Now, my name's Gill Fountain and I work with 38 Partnership. We are a brand and marketing agency and we specialise in bespoke websites, designing bespoke websites and working with people on their visibility, increasing the number of people seeing their business, their products, their services, but also about increasing the visibility of the business owners as well. I have been in business for 30 years and I have been networking before networking was even called networking. I started many years ago when I was in Rotary. In our area, I was one along with three other ladies. I was with the first group, the first club in our area that accepted lady Rotarians. Hi Jane, thank you for joining me. Yes, lady Rotarians were not the thing. This is going back quite a few years. And I do distinctly remember going to the ladies' room at one of the events and the women saying, "Oh dear, lovely to meet you. Who is your husband? Who is the Rotarian?" And I said, "Well, I'm the Rotarian." And they said, "No, you can't be because ladies aren't, they don't have women." And it was so new to the wives of the men that they found it really hard to accept. I'm trying to word this correctly. They found it really quite hard to accept that there would be women Rotarians. Well, a few years up the road, I was president of that Rotary Club. And we had an absolutely fantastic year. And it was there that I started networking in earnest, because part of Rotary is that you give service, you work with charities, you work with other business owners, you meet on a regular basis. I was out wining and dining, but also drumming up money and for the different charities that we supported. And it was there. We would sit around a table, there would be 50 or 100 of us in the room, and we would talk about all sorts of things, everything you can think of under the sun, including business. We got to know each other, we started passing business to each other, but also we were used to swapping ideas, listening to people, listening and seeing the opportunities that were arising. And if we move forward so many decades, that is exactly what happens when it comes to networking. So the importance of networking for all of our businesses, whether it is in networking meetings or talking to each other online, or whatever we do in the form of networking, it is important to get it right and to make it work. Hi Tish, lovely to see you, and thank you so much for your posts this afternoon. That was so much fun, thank you. I was holding a LinkedIn local networking group last night, and meeting last night in the UK, in Basingstoke, in my local town. And we didn't have terribly many there last night. We had about 14 or 15 people. And what we've been doing lately is we've been putting a subject to the group, the whole meeting, and saying, discuss. This is what we're going to be discussing. Who's got a point of view? And it's worked out very well, because every business owner who wants to can talk about what they feel about that particular subject. And believe it or not, last night was all about networking and how we get our business. There was an absolute huge amount of input from every single member in the room. And what was nice was some of them had really, all of them had valid points, but some of them were bringing out aspects that we either took for granted or we hadn't thought about before. Now, we all know networking is that know, like and trust. If you haven't got a know, like and trust relationship with someone, it's almost guaranteed. I can't think of one instance that this has happened, but it's almost guaranteed where you just don't get the business. The person has to know you, like you, and trust you. And then they are willing to part with their money because they want to work with you. And that is the best way of getting new business, is the fact that the person comes to you because they've gone through this process. You are the person that they want to work with, and they've got to know you on or offline, networking or not networking, whatever way it is that you've been talking to them, they have got to know you. And at the end of the day, it's all about communication, how we communicate with each other. So going back again, networking, why would we network? Well, the thing is, we can have the best business, the very best business. We can be way above our competition. But it could be that somebody else is better at networking or better at marketing. And that somebody will get more business because they aren't the best kept secret. They are the person that people know and people have been used to talking to. They are the person that turns up at the meetings regularly and talks to people, not selling at people. And this was something that came out in the meeting time and time again last night, was it wasn't the people that they were getting to know at networking. They weren't interested in the people that were selling. They weren't interested if somebody came into the room, swooped around the room, handing out business cards. There was no interest there whatsoever. It was the relationships and the friendships that they were making at networking. The points, there were several points that were put forward, and I'm just going back in memory here. One of the guys said, it's very important to have your networking in place, but don't forget, it's a long-term project. It is not a quick fix. It's only happened a few times where somebody's walked into a room and, oh, there you are, I want to place my order. It doesn't happen very often. When it does, you can't quite believe your ears, but it is usually a long process. And that long process could be 6 weeks, but actually it's more likely to be 6 months. It could be 2 years because the timing isn't right for that particular person. I've had people that I met in a networking group, and I did actually think that this particular group that I was going to the year before last was a little bit of a waste of time. I couldn't really get on with them. I wasn't gelling very well. It was a bit awkward. Even the parking was bad. When you go to a networking group, networking meeting, and you're dreading it because actually you're not going to be able to get parked. You know you're going to have to squeeze in a space somewhere, or you're going to have to go to the local parking and pay and then walk another 15 minutes to get to where you are. It really doesn't give you a good start, because when you get to the meeting, you're then out of breath, you're a bit flustered because you're now late, and it isn't a good start to the meeting. However, I did meet 2 people that I got on really well with, and so it happened, as we traveled around and went for different meetings, we started to bump into each other, and we, strangely enough, we never tried to sell to each other. Even stranger, both of them became my clients. Isn't that weird? I wasn't expecting it. It was purely because we got on with each other and they saw the value. The timing wasn't right last year. It is now right, and we've got some brilliant accounts out of them. So it's all about, I feel, it's putting yourself across as being very genuine, how you like to work. But it's also, business is serious, let's face it. We're running our businesses, it is our income, but it doesn't have to be dreary. It can be fun. You can have a laugh, you can have a joke. We are allowed to enjoy ourselves. And if I go back, right the way back to my early 20s, I was working with main board directors in a paper company, and their ethos was, it's got to be fun. And one of the guys said to me one day, Jill, you really must stop taking this so seriously, because at the end of the day, it's just a game. If you look upon it as a game that you enjoy playing, you will get far more out of it than being really stressed out all the time in case you're going to do something wrong. And I worked for a director who was on the main board, and he had a wonderful sense of humour. And he was one of these guys that laughed a lot. Now you think, they're they're absolutely up, running this massive business, really, really big business. And their sense of humour when you got to that level was brilliant. It was fun. It was a fun time. I learned a lot. I had a lot of respect for the people that I was working with. But the beauty was they wanted to see us succeed. And that again comes out in the networking meetings. If you've got the right one, the owner of the networking meeting and the other people in that meeting that have got to know you, they want to see you succeed. They encourage you on, they give you referrals, they introduce you to people personally. They will drop your name into a conversation saying, actually, I did meet somebody and they are really good. You know what? I'm not saying that you must buy from them, but why don't you just have a quick chat and see if there's anything there that they might be able to help you with? It really does work. It really does work. Now, let me see what else. I've talked about the best kept secret, because if you're not out networking or you're not doing any form of networking or any form of communicating with people, you could be the very best kept secret in your area, and your competitors could be not so good, but they're out there doing it. Now, let me just read this. Tish, I agree. I think I can click on that, can't I? Yes, I agree totally. I can be serious and focused when I need to be, even though it may appear that I'm not. I have lots on my mind and to keep me busy. Oh my word. Yes, I do know what you mean. We sometimes we're in our heads, we're saying one thing and there's all this muddle going on and juggling going on inside. And I do know exactly what you mean. It's pretty hard going at times. And of course, being a business owner, it all comes down to us. Absolutely everything comes down to us. And again, when it comes to subbing out, when it comes to helping, giving people work to help you get your business up that next level, when it comes to sourcing the people that can help you, then networking is great, because you can get to know them much quicker and far more intensely, if you like, than what you would do just by looking somebody up in maybe one of the directories or wherever. If you're spending time with each other, you've got to know each other, and you know whether you're going to be a good fit with each other. And that is so important when we spend a lot of time working with each other, don't we? It's got to be a good fit. It's got to work. And that way it runs smoothly. And there's got to be also a lot of give and take, I think. I mean, obviously you set your boundaries, but if they said, oh, Jill, I really am struggling with this, do you think you could explain it to me? Yes, of course I'll explain it to you. Absolutely, because that makes my life much easier, if you understand. Ida, hi. And Susan, thank you so much, all of you, for coming in. Thank you. Yes, networking, it's so much. There's so much to enjoy once you start getting to know people, and you absolutely know that you're in the right group. I have to admit, there's been a few occasions where I've not been in the right networking group. I've given it that sort of 3 to 6 months, and I thought, really, there are a few people in here that I really like, but I'll keep in touch with them anyway. The rest, just not really working for me. Keep in touch with the people that you do get on with. Find something that really works for you. And I think that was what we were talking about. Oh, the other thing that I did mention, I'm not going to go on for much longer here today because I'm already done 15 minutes, but the other thing that we were talking about was headshots. Having a good headshot on our marketing really does help with networking. How does that work, you think? I had this thing a couple of years ago. This guy said, Jill, I'm coming into Basingstoke. Do you think we could have a meeting? I'm going to be at such and such a hotel. Do you fancy coming along? And we'll have a chat about this, that, and the next thing. It was fine until I went to run out the door. My partner said, where are you going? And I said, it's okay. I'm going to a hotel to meet this man. I know what he looks like, and we're going to have a chat about business. And he said, do you understand how stupid that sounds? And suddenly I thought, oh, actually, that does. So I scurried back in again, had a look at his LinkedIn profile. Yes, I did know who he was. Yes, I could see the background. Yes, everything tied up. And I walked into the hotel, and there was this guy stood at the bar, and he looked up and he went, hi, Jill. I had never met him before. He had never met me before, but there was that instant recognition because our profiles, because of the images that we had on our profiles. It made it so much easier. There wasn't any awkwardness. We sat down, we had a cup of coffee, we started chatting. That step had been removed because we'd both taken the time to make a little bit of effort, getting to know a tiny bit, not a lot, just a little bit, to just say, oh, I believe you come from here, you know, how's your journey been? But there was that recognition instantly as I walked into the hotel. So if you have got any questions on networking, please do pop them underneath. I have got my groups. I'm on groups now, would you believe? I'm so lucky. I've got Building Tomorrow Today with 38 Partnership, and I have recently come into being the owner of One Woman's Voice because I've been helping the lady that used to own it, of which a lot of you know. And she is now over in LinkedIn, but I'm running One Woman's Voice and seeing what opportunities we can pop into that group as well. So please do join me. Like I say, do pop any messages below, and I look forward to seeing you next week. So let's just think. I did this today. One of the girls said to me, so what do you do when you do a presentation? And I rattled it off in Facebook Messenger and said, stage 1, do this. Stage 2, do that. Do the middle bit, do the end bit. And at the end, I said, oh, sometimes I forget to do the end bit. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of value to you. I look forward to seeing you next week. Same place, same time, and have a really good week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.